Everybody, and thank you for tuning in today for Lunch and Learn episode 60. Woo! So exciting. When I set out to do this a few months ago, I couldn't even see past the first 10 episodes and quickly fell in love with the idea of just really offering free MLM training to the entire industry. I've been in the industry now in 6 days. Will be, 10 years. And I've had the most extraordinary experience. And so now my gift to the industry is to give my wisdom and my experience back for free to the entire industry. If you haven't done so, please go to youtube.com/create wealth with Tara and subscribe so you never miss an episode, or you can watch these at your convenience. I'm so excited. Hello, everyone. Well, let's dive in. Episode 60, we're going to talk about resources versus resourcefulness. So I'm always learning and growing, and yesterday I watched an incredible training by Tony Robbins, who's one of my all-time favorites. He is just amazing. He's been able to transform millions of lives, helping people to make lasting change instantly. So very excited to bring some of his content. And, we're going to talk about resources versus resourcefulness. And one of the core principles is that you don't, you learn by immersion, right? There's nobody that has learned by dabbling, right? If you want to go to, if you want to be a doctor, you go to med school for years and you are immersed. I mean, you are literally, all the time studying and looking at cadavers and anatomy and, biological processes and diving into the cells. I mean, you are literally, immersed in it, right? If you want to go to law, be a lawyer, you go to law school for 2 years in law school, you are immersed in learning law. Anything that is, anybody who's gone to a level who's had success has done it with immersion, right? You'll become Tom Brady by dabbling in being a quarterback, right? You become Tom Brady by probably tens of thousands of hours, of training and conditioning and learning and growing and learning techniques, right? Immersion is really the only way that you can do things, and everything that you've mastered has been through immersion. And let me give you some examples that you can relate to. When you were probably 9, 10, 11, 12 months old, you did not dabble in walking. You tried every chance that you got. At first your legs were wobbly and you'd fall down and fall down and fall down and fall down, right? But you didn't dabble. You go, maybe I'll just pick this up in another 2 months, right? You kept getting up and kept getting up and kept getting up and kept getting up and pulling yourself up and pulling yourself up and pulling yourself up and letting go and falling and letting go and falling, right? And you didn't stop until you mastered walking, right? You wouldn't be walking right now if you just dabbled in it. You'd be a 20, 30, 40-year-old crawler. So, immersion, let's see, language. Think about how many hundreds of thousands of words a child knows by the age of 5, and they can actually learn multiple languages, right? Immersion. You didn't dabble in it. You didn't hear a word every 3 days. All day, every day communicating, you learn how to talk, right? So let's talk about emotion. Emotion is one of the greatest forces in life. Nobody can beat somebody who's emotionally invested. Nobody. You can have the most, you can have a network marketer. This is network marketing training. So we'll talk about network marketing. You can have somebody who's so smart, has, all the degrees in the world behind them. Let's say you're in wellness and you've got nutrition degrees and dietitian degrees and doctor degrees and chemistry degrees and supplement degrees and all these things. And you can have knowledge of every product, knowledge of every comp plan, but the person with the most excitement is going to beat you, right? The ignorance on fire guy will beat you. You can't beat a person who's really, really emotionally excited about what they're doing. You can't beat that person, because 93% of whether someone says yes or no to you is your posture and your tone of voice. 7% is fact. So it doesn't matter how smart you are, how educated you are, how experienced you are, the person who is excited, the person who is convicted will beat you every day, all day. Don't ever forget that. Don't dismiss the power of emotion, right? Think about a couple of really good examples is some of the people who have made really big changes, right? Some of the stories. like Rosa Parks. When Rosa Parks stood up on the bus and said, "I will not go to the back of the bus," she was emotionally invested that she didn't just change her life, she sparked a revolution that changed lives, millions of lives everywhere, right? What about Lance Armstrong? Lance Armstrong was diagnosed with testicular cancer, which is really a horrible thing, especially when you ride a bike, right? Think about that. I know, give me a laugh face because that's funny, right? But it was in his brain, it was in his lungs, it was in his testicles. But you know what? His story wasn't, "I am a cancer patient." His story is, "I'm a champion." And after being diagnosed with cancer multiple times, he went on to win seven Tour de France's. And he's a champion as a cyclist. Like, I mean, come on. He won 0 before the cancer. So his story wasn't, "I am a cancer person, I'm going to be sick and I'm going to be laying in bed withering away." His story was, "I am a champion," and he went on to be a champion, right? So what do these people have in common? I mean, there's a zillion more, examples. Martin Luther King, there's everyone. What's the difference? They have psychological strength. So it's like, why you guys are worried about, "I don't know the comp plan, I don't know the system, I don't know how to do a PowerPoint, I don't know how to get on Zoom, I don't have a car, I don't know, blah, 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 blah," whatever excuses are, you are weak psychologically. You cannot beat the person who is in the game mentally. If you really want to win in network marketing, give me a one. Give me a one if you really want to win, meaning you want to make money. It doesn't matter if you want to make $1,000 a month or $100,000 a month. Give me a one if you are here to make money. We're all here to make money. We're going to make change, and some of us choose fields that are side benefits, right? Might save people money, might make people, if you're selling makeup, you might help people have confidence. If you're selling some kind of technology, you might, help people save money. If you're selling wellness, you might help people get healthy, right? So, what is your game mentally? When I walk up to someone, I'm talking to someone, even if I'm not even hyper and I'm not like this all the time. If I'm sitting on a plane or something, I promise you, if someone asks me what I do, even if I have a calm conversation with them, they get off the plane and say, "I don't know what she's doing, but I know she's going to be successful. I know she is because I know she knows she is." Are you that convicted, or are you worried about what people think? Don't worry about what people think. It's called focus. Be in the psychological game. Every day, you've got to be in the game mentally. Because if you're in the game mentally, no one will beat the person who is in the game mentally. So, there's two invisible forces, right? There's two invisible forces that can shape your emotions. Number one is temporary. It's short-term. It's state. What state are you? Are you excited? Are you standing tall? Are you standing proud? Are you in confidence? Physically, emotionally, are you happy? Are you positive? Are you thinking like, for every time someone says, "I can't find a customer," I say, "Well, I'll find 100 for you." Like, when every time it says, "Oh my gosh, everyone knows about this," I say, "Well, $322 million, right?" Like, every time someone gives me a negative, I can find a positive that's 1,000,000 to 1 over their negative, right? It's all a decision. So state is, are you focusing on the positive? Are you focusing on what's possible? Are you focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't do? That's all temporary, right? Being in a state of positivity, abundance, stand tall, confidence, belief, core belief, passion, purpose in what you do. And only you can determine that. Like, I love what I do so much. And it's not just about money. It's not just about helping people get healthy. I really believe we're changing lives spiritually, emotionally, financially, mentally. I believe if people come into network marketing, they will be better people, right? Because there's no other industry outside of maybe a little bit of sales. But I've met salespeople that have never heard of John Maxwell. I'm like, #1 leadership guru in the world. If you've never heard of him, he's written 93 books on the topic of leadership. No wonder your company's doing so bad, right? I have salespeople that have never read a sales book. They've never read a Napoleon Hill. They've never read How to Win Friends and Influence People. They've never read some of the books that I've read. I'm like, ooh, how successful are you, right? So it's like one of the only industries in the world where you're going to get an education, self-education that you're not going to get anywhere else. Like you didn't grow up reading Jim Rohn in college, right? I didn't. You didn't grow up in college. You didn't read Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins and Danny Johnson and, Earl Nightingale and all these incredible people that have mentored people to make millions and millions of dollars, right? So long-term is your model of the worldview, right? So any meaning and emotion you give to your overall circumstances, like everybody's broke. Well, if you're broke, you might think everyone's broke, right? Your worldview, that is going to shape your long-term. You'll never have abundance and success long-term if every day you're thinking in short-term scarcity mindset. If you think everybody knows better, everyone's going to say no, everyone's negative. My town's too small. My town's too big. People here. Do you know that I've been to cities, states, and countries for the past 10 years? I've been to, 9, 10, 12 countries, whatever. I've been to almost every state in the United States, bar like the middle America. I've been to so many states. Do you know that everyone everywhere says this? Oh, Tara, people here, they're not like that. They don't like MLM. They don't care about their health. They're too cheap. They think the things are too expensive. Everyone everywhere has that story. But everyone everywhere has top earners. Everywhere has six-figure earners, multiple six-figure earners, and seven-figure earners. So is it the truth or is it your mindset, right? So you cannot have long-term success with a scarce, negative, down on yourself, talk to yourself mindset that's not positive, right? So what shapes us? Well, we're not our past. We're not our past. The past is gone already. Look back to see how far you've come and learn back to see what can I change, right? In the past, these things, these excuses, these thoughts, these activities, these mindsets, these words did not serve me. So this is what didn't work. Now today, right now, 1 second from now is the future. What can I think right now, right? Train yourself to think 5 seconds into the future positively, and then 10 seconds, and then 30 seconds, and then time yourself. Can I go a minute thinking positive thoughts? Because guys, it's not your fault. We were grown up and groomed in a society where the average child by the age of 18 in the US here hears no you can't 5,000 to 1 over yes you can, right? Think about that next time. Parents out there, think about that next time and said no you can't. Say, hey, let's find a different way. Are you open to ideas? Or what can you do? Instead of saying like, stop doing that, stop behaving like that, I say, Lexi, is that your best? Emery, are you giving me your best right now? Because I want them to say, am I giving me my best? Not, mommy thinks I'm terrible. I want them to say, I want them to make a decision on their behavior. I don't want to shape their ideas of each other. I want them to, figure out who they are by asking them to constantly evaluate their behavior, their attitudes, right? We do I am statements, and my kids love it. Every night they're trying to think of new words because we go through the alphabet, and so it's fun. It's you get to change your children too. This is another perk of MLM, right? My dad was in real estate, and he told me from the time I was 3, 4, every day, whatever you believe in strong enough, the universe will conspire to make it happen. Maybe that was all that I needed to become an entrepreneur. So that seed has been planted all my life. I don't know if that's what it was or that's a coincidence, but my father told me that every single day, every time I was with him, if you believe in something strong enough, the universe will conspire to make it happen. So that you've learned by immersion, but you've also learned by emotion. You learn by doing things that make really good sense to you, that are important to you, right? It was important for Lance Armstrong to be a champion. It was important for Rosa Parks to stand up for herself and stand up for an entire generation, right? She drew a line. These are people that their decisions were full of emotion, and they didn't just change their lives. They inspired other people to change their lives. So, all right. Effective leaders have the ability to consistently move themselves and others to action because they understand that invisible forces shape us, right? Emotion shapes us. Determination, passion, purpose, definite of purpose, like know your calling. Like I feel not proud, that's the wrong word. I feel blessed that I really truly now I understand the gifts I've been given and I understand my purpose in life. And there's no better feeling than really doing something that you really truly feel you're called to do. I feel like I'm called to mentor people. I feel like I'm called to help people. I feel like I'm called to help make a difference in the world. I feel like I'm in the health, helping people get healthy. And I feel like I'm called to help entrepreneurs believe in themselves. Like, oh, there's nothing more that I love than when I help someone discover how great they are, and they discovered it. Not me telling them how great they are, to help them discover how great they are by understanding, that everybody is unique, and you were given goals, and you were given an impulse to do things, but you were also given everything you need. Everyone's gifts aren't the same, right? I am really bad at sending thank you cards and getting gifts for people because it's not my language of love. My language of love is words of affirmation and time together. Some people might buy you $100 gift. I would rather sit with you for 5 hours and just talk to you and get to know you and help you discover you. That's my heart and passion. Mine is quality time. Okay, so if you can create enough emotion, you can get through anything, and you can get through to anyone. You can, right? I watch my team all day long, just so excited about what we're doing, that they see it, they hear it every time they talk to someone. I got a gal who's put in 65 customers in the last 2.5 months. And I was actually shocked. She'd put in, yesterday was the 8th of the month, March, and she's already put in 15 customers. And I'm like, what? Sherry, you've already put in 15 customers? Tell me your secrets. This woman is obviously on fire and telling everybody that she knows, about this, because you don't accidentally sign up 15 customers in your 3rd month, by the way, right? So if you're playful, if you're positive, if you're fun enough, you can get through to anyone. Nobody is going to reject you if you're so excited and so fun. If you're like, oh my God, Mom, I started a new business. You're not even going to believe this. I'm so excited. Your mom or your best friend is not a jerk. They're not going to be like, whatever. If they are, get a new best friend. I would never be around somebody that when I was excited was awful. I would never have a friend like that. I don't care how long I've known somebody. If somebody treated me that way for the, oh my God, I started a new business, I'm so excited. And they're like, oh, you and your positivity. Bye, Felicia. I don't have time for that in my life. I protect my aura. I protect my energy. I have a precious few moments in life. You only have so many hours and so many years. I'm not going to be dragged down by people who are miserable. End of story. Give me a 2 if you are not going to be dragged down by people who are miserable and do nothing to change their circumstances. And by the way, do not forget the golden rule. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So choose them wisely. You adapt their thoughts, their beliefs, their physical shape. So if they're obese, you're going to be obese. If they're skinny, you're going to be skinny. You adapt their attitudes, your political views, and your income level. Choose them wisely. If you are not where you want to be, look at the 5 people that you spend the most time with. You are the average of them. Think about that. Now, oh, Tara, the millionaires don't want to hang out with me. Great, go hang out with them. Go watch them. Go listen to them. Go Google them. Go watch their videos. Go to events and listen to them speak. They don't have to be spending time with you. You could be spending time with them. Don't forget that. Mentors don't have to be two-sided. I have many mentors that are dead. Zig Ziglar's a mentor. Earl Nightingale's a mentor. Jim Rohn's a mentor. They're dead. And they're still mentoring me. Isn't that crazy? Brian Tracy's a mentor and I've never met him. Tony Robbins is a mentor. I've been to him. I've seen him on stage, but I've never met him. He's my mentor. Danny Johnson's my mentor. Now I have met her just briefly once. All right, so resources versus resourcefulness. I want you to really think long and hard. Excuse me, I gotta get water. I'm dying here. Cancel clear. I'm not dying, but I'm thirsty. I want you to think about these 2 lists. Okay, I want you to think about these 2 lists. And as I say these, I want you to really think, what leads to results? Ready? Resources. Resources are time, money. We all have time. We all have the same time, by the way. That is the ultimate leveler, is time. That's the number 1 resource I think you can have, and we all have the same amount. So you are already level with all the billionaires and the inventors and the Nobel laureates and everybody of all time who's been great. You have the exact same most precious resource as them, which is time. Don't forget that. Second resource is money. Money comes from value. You can get it anytime you want, by the way. If you wanted $100 today, you could get $100 in the next hour. You go knock on 10 doors and say, I will clean your car for $10. I promise you, you can find 10 people. I will pay. Anybody want to come to my door? I'll pay you $20 to watch my, I'll pay you $50 if you vacuum the inside. Because that's time. So don't, you can go babysit for $10 an hour, $15 an hour, whatever. You can get money anytime you want. Don't ever say you don't know where to get money. It's everywhere. Be valuable, you'll get money. Technology. Right? Well, many of us have the same technology. The technology I've used to make millions of dollars is a computer. Everyone has access to that. An iPhone today, an iPad that I'm on right now, and a laptop, right? My Mac. Give me a number 3 if you have the same technology as I do. So do I have any advantages? Nope. I don't have a beeper. I don't have some satellite that zooms me. I have all the same technology as everyone on my team. Give me a 3 if you agree. Don't forget to share this, by the way. All right. Another resource is contacts, and that's something that you can constantly be building, right? Contacts, this is an unlevel playing field, but you can go meet 100 people today if you want, if you're intentional about it. Another resource is experience. Now that is, some people have more experience, but immersion can get you up there very quickly. And leadership, right? So now think about resourcefulness. Those are resources, and those are valid, but let's think about resourcefulness. What do you think is more important in having time and money or having creativity? Being able to be solutions oriented, being able to get over obstacles, being able to find a new way. Determination. Nobody can stop. I'm telling you right now, if I kidnap the person you love the most and said you don't get them back until you can sell $1,000 in product, you will have that product sold in a New York minute, because it means something to you, because you are determined, and you are not going to let someone kidnap your child and be mean to them all day. I'm going to be mean to them all day. I'm going to poke them with a stick all day until you sell $1,000 in products or services. How fast will you do it? Immediately. That's determination. Love and care. Do you know that the number one basic human need of all humans of all time, and everything they do, of all decisions they've ever made, comes down to one basic human need, just one: the need to be loved. But Tara, what about the guy that buys a big car? He wants to feel loved. What about the girl that, sings in the choir? She wants to feel loved. You give a gift, you want to be loved. What about the person that, is a stockbroker? They want to be loved. Every basic need. Why do you want to lose weight? Because you want people to love you. That's it. Every decision that every human being makes is because they desire to be loved. So loving and caring about people is the most precious gift, and you all have that. You all have that. You can love people for free. You don't need time, or you don't need money. You don't need technology. You can love people where you're at right now, all day, every day, and that's free. And that's the number one gift you can give people, is love. That's why we decided to name our team Team Heart, because we want people to know that they are loved where they're at, no matter who they are, where they came from, how much baggage they have, how negative or positive they are, how little experience and how much experience, that you will be loved and you will grow at your pace. And you'll be in a community that supports you for you, not who we want you to be. We don't want you to be anybody else but who you are. Curiosity. Nobody can beat the person that's continually curious, right? I'm so curious. I'm always learning and researching and growing and in my field. I'm so curious. When someone says this and I hear it on a call, I'm like, that makes sense. I go Google it. I watched a TED Talk one time about intermittent fasting. I spent 4 days researching it, right? Because I'm curious. If I'm selling a health product, I'm gonna be curious about it. Curious will keep you growing. It'll keep you expanding. Give me a number 3. I don't know where we're at. 3. Give me a C if you're curious. Are you curious? Give me a C if you're curious. Are you curious? Curiosity. I was so curious when I was little. I used to have a plaque in my room. I'm not kidding. It was so cute. It was one of those old school plaques that you find like Hallmark. It was 2 little kittens like batting a butterfly, and it said, "Blessed are the curious, for they will have adventures." I wish I still had it today. It probably got, given away with junk or whatever, but that was hanging on my wall until I was in high school. Blessed are the curious, for they will have adventures. That was hanging on my wall above my bed all of my life. Someone probably bought it for me when I was little for a birthday present, and I always had that. Passion. Nobody can beat a person with passion. Lance Armstrong has passion. Oprah Winfrey has passion. Tony Robbins has passion. Steve Jobs had passion. Bill Gates has passion. Mark Zuckerberg has passion. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr. Every person who has created a movement or changed lives, the doctors of your products, the people who created your technology, they have passion. People have passion. You cannot stop a person that's determined and passionate and creative. Like here's the formula. I'm giving you the formula for success. Resolve. Resolve means you will find a solution. And one of the best traits you can have as an entrepreneur is resolve. So many people quit. Don't be that guy. Say, I'm going to do it until I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn. And it is not a playing field that's even, right? If you came from a background where you were, honored and told that you were great, you might have a little bit more confidence, and I don't believe in being fake, meaning like, oh, I'm making $100,000 a year when you're not. That's not the kind of fake it when you make it, but you can fake confidence. I promise you, everyone's not confident. I promise you, at some level, everyone's worried. The four biggest fears of humans are fear of rejection, fear of ridicule. Number 3 is fear of death, which I can't believe people would rather die than be ridiculed or rejected, but that's fact. And then fear of failure, right? Those are all 4. Those are 3 fears you have to face to be successful in network marketing. You have to face rejection. You have to face ridicule. And how you bounce back from that and failures is what's going to determine you of success. I've failed, but I've just quadrupled my rate of failure. I just get more no's than the average person. I probably get more no's than people ever contact people. Like, I will probably have more no's in my wheelhouse than most people have attempts. Think about that. Probably 10 times, right? So you got to double, triple, quadruple your rate of failure. Again, Go for No is a great book for that, to get you in the mindset. So resolve. You will find a solution. If somebody else did it, I'll tell you that if there is a 7-figure earner in your company, it's possible. They'll find a way. I probably talked about this in another Lunch and Learn. I've met a 7-figure earner who lives in a town of 30, right? Maybe she had to go to a different town. Maybe she had to use technology. Maybe she used social media. There's always a way. And guys, we live in the golden ages. People have been dreaming about these ages forever. Think about it. Let's give a number. Let's say that the humans have been on the earth for 10,000 years. Is that fair, right? Give me a like if you think that's fair, right? Some people that you believe in, macroevolution, microevolution, you might think it's millions of years, but I'm going to go 10,000 because that's the lowest common denominator, right? Religious people think it's 10,000. Scientific people think it's millions, but let's just say only 10,000. Isn't it crazy that in 9,900 years, we didn't even have, before the 1900s, we didn't even have factories or airplanes or phones or TVs or cell phones or computers or fax machines. We are so archaic. So this time, in my lifetime, I can't even tell. When I was born, they were rotary corded phones. Now I can run a global business from a device that fits in my pocket that is a computer and an alarm clock and a GPS and a camera and a video camera and a voice recorder and a game system and social media and connecting me to billions of people worldwide. There's not going to be a better time than now. You can literally build a global business from a device that fits in your freaking pocket, but you're still making excuses? Resources? Resourcefulness. Everybody has access to the same resource. You can go save your money, get an iPhone. Get an iPhone, you have leveled the playing field. But it's what you do with that iPhone. Are you determined to make your business work? Give me a 4 if you're determined to make your business work. Are you passionate about what you do? Do you love people? If you don't, there's really great lessons. Danny Johnson's really good at getting people to forgive. If you've been hurt by a male or hurt by a female, you will hate all males and females. And until you clear that and forgive them, you will hate males and females, right? Are you curious, right? Well, how far can you go with that, smartphone? Let's Androids. I don't want to, dismiss Android users. Some of you guys, give me a 5 if you're watching this from an iPad or an iPhone right now. Hi, you have access to mentorship, YouTube, videos, how-to, unlimited resources in a device that a 12-year-old has, right? Everything. You have everything you need at the tip of your fingers. You have Google, you have Facebook, you have Instagram and Twitter, all those things. You have no excuses. You have no excuses. You just if you have excuses, you don't have passion. If you have excuses, you don't have determination. If you have excuses, you don't love people, because to love people means wanting them to have a better life. The reason I do that, what I do, is because I love people and I want them to be healthy and I want them to be wealthy, because that is our God-given right. That is our divine right, is to be healthy and wealthy. To be healthy, to be fit, to be happy. That is your right. If you have technology but you don't have passion, you're not going anywhere. So it's time to take inventory. You've got the resources, but are you resourceful? Are you going to figure it out no matter what? Are you going to say, give me a 6 if you say that I will not stop until I succeed? And I'm not a proponent of jumping companies or anything, but if you're just in it for a paycheck and you don't wake up every day excited about what you're doing, then maybe it's time to find something you are. Like if you're selling insurance and it doesn't make your heart sing, but you really like, oh, I don't want to sell makeup, or I want to sell skincare or jewelry, like, find out what you're passionate about. Just because your friend signed you up doesn't mean it has to be your thing. Find what you're happy about. I've always been in wellness for 10 years because it makes my heart sing to see someone get a result. That's just, weight loss, to get a result. Like, I love that. But there are some people that are like, oh my gosh, I want to help people save money. That is your passion. Then do that. If you want to help young girls have confidence and you want to teach them how to do makeup, then do that. If you're a stylish person that wants people to look great, stay-at-home moms have a nice little earrings and necklace. Like, I have a friend that works for a jewelry company. She's passionate about it, and I can see it when she stands in front of a room. It's got to be, that's what the great thing about network marketing is. There's so many different things. There's so many choices. Find what you're passionate about, because without passion, you're nowhere. You've all got time, you've all got money, you've all got technology, you've all got contacts. But what you do with them, how you approach them, is going to be the defining difference and the great separator of someone who goes on and uses that technology and takes their business to the top and it impacts millions of lives. So, be resourceful. Go out every day determined, creative, curious, love, honor, resolve, and passion. Nobody can beat you if you are in your zone. So give me a 7 if you're ready to get in your passion zone and get in your creative zone and stop worrying about all the things you can't do and think about what can you do. All right? I want prosperity for all of you. And always, guys, if this has impacted you, you have made a decision and this has changed your life, I don't care if you're on my team or you're in my company or even my country, let me know. I love hearing the stories about decisions, you guys. I love it, because my goal in life is to change lives. I never had a little side note that says only if it makes me money, because clearly I'm giving the training away for free. I want lives to be changed. So thank you guys. Please share this with someone who needs it. As again, I'm always offering free MLM training that's generic and to anybody in the industry. So feel free to share. I'm not going to list build or spam your people or teach them about my product or company. I'm here to give back to an industry that has blessed me beyond all belief. And so share this with someone who needs it. And again, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And then you can watch it. It doesn't have to be at lunch. You can watch it at dinner time, bedtime, workout time, walk time. People are like, I'm listening to you every day when I'm walking, or I listen to you on the treadmill, or I listen to you before I go to bed, or I listen to you on my commute. Whatever it is, listen to when it's convenient for you. It just happens to be the convenient time for me is my lunchtime. So thank you guys again. Mwah. I love you, beautiful people, and I will see you tomorrow with another amazing topic. And thank you for helping me celebrate 60 episodes. Woo! I love you guys. See you soon.